What up? Welcome to Backstage. I'm your host and curator, DJ IZ Avila. I got my right-hand man, Phill Burum.
Right-hand man.
Yeah,
I'll
my
take
right-hand man. Give it up for Phil. He'll take it. As you know, Backstage is a show where we talk about life, community, all the things under the sun that we might get our hands slapped for. But in general, just, great conversation, jokes.
The ins and outs of live productions.
The ins and outs of live productions.
The goods, the bads, the evils, the
uglies, the outlandish requests. Like, I want something unique and special in my green room. And can we do that? Can we write? But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Today, man, I really just wanted to cover and discuss some of the things that, we've been having here at Stage Red via performances, artists. One particularly, Julian Marley. We had. And I know you got a chance to attend the sound check.
Yeah, I've been able to see the video on the show. That I saw a little bit of it, but that was just it was a great crowd. It was a great band. Yeah. They were probably one of the best groups to work with too, from a back of house standard. All the staff that worked with them was really complimentary of how interactive they were and patient they were with everything that's going on here. Yeah. But what a great group, from Julian to all of his backup cast. They were great to work with. Soundcheck was a nightmare.
No.
But,
but
yeah,
that happens. Like,
it happens.
What was going on?
It's when you do, especially a national touring artist like Julian. Yeah. He has people that do this stuff for him. When Sammy was here, he had a guy that did his sound check for him. Yeah. And they spend the hour. I don't know if nobody recognizes what goes involved to get the sound right for a show, but typically a sound check is a good hour-long process where they're checking every mic.
If they're on time.
If they're on time. Sometimes you got to rush them. Sometimes you got to hold the doors.
Please be on time, guys.
Please be on time. But for that particular show, they had a great group, a very professional traveling group. There was some issues, I guess, with their actual sound technician the day before, so they had a new guy starting. And he was awesome, very professional. He knew what he was doing, but he was getting used to Julian's crew. So the first part of the sound check lasted about 2 hours, which was pretty long to get through it.
Interesting.
And then when Julian comes out, that's usually about a 15-minute process where he'll check it, everything's good. Someone flipped a switch that no one knew they flipped, so when Julian came out, it all started over.
Oh, no.
So we were about a 3.5. It was worth it because the sound was really good and the show was terrific. But for the audience waiting outside to come in, they had no idea that we sat for 3.5 hours waiting to get it tweaked just right.
Wow. So, and that's the tricky thing with sound check. And some of the things I've experienced is that you'll have even times where sound check goes great. And then showtime, it's like you never had sound, like something happens, a disaster.
The age of digital media, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
A program changes a little bit, and it changes everything.
And that's the thing, too, with production. Everybody has their own presets. So you got your lighting guy. He's got his presets. He's got the gear he's used to working on. A lot of times, those guys can float on different pieces of equipment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that gets a little tricky. Sometimes things don't work. Sometimes the gear don't take in the presets. And so you're running on the fly, man. But at least for Julian, that show for Julian Marley, when I look at our socials, it looked like a phenomenal experience.
It was a great show.
And it, just to see him do his thing, and the Marley family is a big family, right?
Yeah.
And so you just think about the lineage of Bob himself, man, and to see his offspring just continue to do what they do it's pretty dope.
It's amazing. And he and his group enjoyed the show much. They did like a 35-minute encore.
Oh, wow.
So
he gave you extra.
He gave extra and did the fans wanted to hear some Bob songs, so he did
dope.
7 or 8 Bob Marley classics, and it was a memorable night.
I missed that one, man. I'm mad I missed that one.
It was a great show.
I'm gonna have to definitely go back to our socials and check out some of those pieces.
And if you want to learn a little bit about Julian, our own Stephanie O'Dunia did an interview before the show.
Oh, word.
And he gave us about 15 minutes of just talking about stuff. So I think that'll be posted maybe by the time this is posted. So check that out.
So he spoiled us.
He did great.
We're hoping we could do that with every artist that we have that comes through Stage Red, man. Well, shout out to Julian. Thank you so much for rocking with us, man. We hope to have you back. Another thing I wanted to talk about that's pretty interesting and exciting that's coming up is Afro Man.
Afro Man.
You know, and when I think about Afro Man and like the song that blew up for him, and he just kind of, you know, was this dude that showed up on stage with his guitar, play his records, like that to me has always been interesting. You know, so the fact that we're actually having him here in Fontana, I think that's cool. You know.
Yeah, the whole
just don't get on stage. If you're not supposed to be on stage, do not.
Yeah, that happens at his shows. You know what? He's so interactive. His personality is so infectious that if you've listened to his songs or you watched it in his interviews, he's a really personable dude. So I think it's one of those celebrities that fans that have watched him forever think they're just buddies, and they can just hang out, and everything's a party.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna go, but then never mind.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get him on Backstage because it'd be great to kind of just open that up and see what kind of can of worms we can get to come out, because that dude has been doing it a long time, and you know, it's great to see that he can still show up and jam and play these songs and people will show out for him, you know.
Yeah, and he knows who he is, man. He's got a vibe.
He does got a vibe, man. You see that fro, it's like, oh man, that's Afro Man. So I'm excited about that show. I'm gonna make sure that I'm definitely in the house for that one. By the way, we got a full schedule lined up here at Stage Red. I mean, I think we're completely booked. I want to say all the way till mid-November going into December, it looks like. So
yeah, they picked up the schedule a little bit. The whole intention of Stage Red was, you know, is the catalyst part of downtown, but we were going to run shows here periodically for a few years until downtown.
That has changed.
Yeah, but I think once we opened and people saw the type of acts, heard the sound, watched the lighting, and experienced it, the council pushed to start adding more and more shows. So we're going to.
Yeah, we're Wednesdays and Thursdays now too.
We do a lot of them, 2-3 shows a week in a lot of cases, and that's a full slate for a venue like this. So.
But I also think too, I think that's wonderful for the community. You know, we're getting ready to go into the new school year, and you know, it seemed like summer was like a blur, right? You know, so
wasn't it just Easter?
It was just Easter, Phil. It was just Easter, man. I was just standing in a long line at a restaurant because it was Easter. You know what I mean? But I think that's great. You know, the community having something that is starting to catch some traction, momentum, a place, a venue where they can come see a show, and that's, you know, I think that's what we want. And so I think that's a great thing. Summer. Let's talk through summer. Anything cool you got to do, Phil?
I don't do cool stuff, man.
Did you use your time wisely, man?
I hopefully for the city of Fontana, I use my time wisely. But
words from a workaholic.
I'm an old man that works a lot and sleeps some, and doesn't do a lot more than that.
Well, I'll say this: one of the cool things we got to do together, we mentioned that in our previous podcast, was that we got to go see Chris Stapleton with some great folks. Aquanetta came out and hung with us, so that was, to me, that was a highlight, one of the highlights from my summer. I don't know if you know this, man, but I'm a camping dude. Like, I love to camp.
No, I didn't know.
I love to
You know what? I wouldn't have guessed that in 100 years.
Really?
I absolutely would. And no shade. I don't know why I would say that, but I wouldn't have guessed that. Do you fish too?
Oh, I fish, hunt, and camp. I grew up in like, when we go camp, that's how I grew up. I grew up
You're a
pitching
Rialto
a tent.
boy.
Yeah, we grew up pitching a tent. And so Costco is like the worst thing for me. Because I feel like every summer they introduce a new tent that blocks out sun rays. And so my collection of tents is ridiculous. And so I give tents away. So, you know, that's kind of my thing.
Keep that in mind. Keep me on the list.
But this year we got a chance to we went up to Santa Barbara, camped out there, and it was cool because the campsite was literally right across from the beach. So that was beautiful. We also do the Kern River. And I like the Kern River because you can set up a tent literally on the river.
Right on the bank.
Great fishing there. We've been doing that for years. And so that was kind of like my highlight for the summer, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to squeeze these things in, because my 7-year-old is on me. Soon as he got finished with school, all right, Dad, where are we camping? Where are we going? I want to invite some friends. And so it's like, I don't have that quite together yet, son, but I'm working towards it.
You keep a schedule, man. For someone that's been in the industry so long, the different things that you're involved in, I don't know how you find. I know where my time is. It's dedicated to one chair and one city and one thing, and it's a vast array of responsibility, but it's always Fontana centric. You're doing the kids program, the all hands on decks.
Yeah.
You're working on expanding that. You're doing this stuff, helping us at Stage Red, and still working on music in the background. So how do you have time to camping? It's pretty amazing. So good for you. Good dad.
It wasn't something I always had mastered. I had to understand that in working 17, 18 hours a day, you get to a point in life where you got to figure out, okay, I got to live a little.
Yeah.
I got to get out. I got to breathe, because as a songwriter, musician, and I'm sure you know this to some degree, as a creative, what really fuels your inspiration is life, conversations, living, meeting people. And truth be told, I get my most inspiration when I'm fishing or when I'm on a flight. Because when I'm on a flight, I happen to land into really cool conversations with people that just come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to pull from all that. And so, but I've had to learn to replenish myself by making sure I'm going camping, by making sure I'm spending time with my youngin and my 24-year-old. And so those truly are the things that keep me grounded. Now, I will say this. Those also become the fuel to make sure I get my ass to work and make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how I'm able to keep it together. But my mom is always on me like, Phil, she's always like, Mijo, you need to sit down. I was like, Mom, I can't. You know,
I got things to do.
I got things to do.
Too much to accomplish. Yeah, I think one of the things I like the fact we talk about being on flights, meeting new people, because that just draws me right back to this relationship doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Had we not met, we didn't grow up in the same place. I'm a silly bureaucrat. You're a Grammy-winning music producer and artist. There's not a lot of places in the world where we would have connected and had the chance to get to know each other,
right.
Unless you have that first conversation. So I love the fact that you take the opportunity to do that when you're just out in the world.
No, for sure. But it's funny that you say that, because I think of what we're doing here the same way. I think ultimately what got me interested about you was your love for music. Like you're a music lover, right? And so I think that was kind of like what set the table for everything we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the common thread for us. And so here we are, you know, backstage, you know, talking about everything under the sun, you know. Next, you know, you mentioned all hands on decks, and you know, I do want to talk a little bit about that as we start the new school year with education and all hands on decks. We started here with Fontana Boys and Girls Club. That's really what kicked everything off in Fontana. Was able to bring them to Stage Red for a field trip experience, which was an incredible experience. We featured a kid out of Rialto by the name of DJ Godfather. He's in the 8th grade, and you know, he's a kid who's already DJing the assemblies in Rialto. He's ready for hire.
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid. He's working. And so we thought it was a great opportunity to bring him to Stage Red for the field trip so that the kids in the Boys and Girls Club can actually see somebody who's kind of right within reach of where they're at. And they were like, extremely inspired.
Yeah.
They were so inspired. Like when we wrapped up the field trip and I had to go to their location where they were, and they had already gotten back, you know, I get out of the car and the first thing, hey, you're the guy from Stage Red. And it was like, to see them excited about the experience they had just had, you know, and their first question was, are we going to do it again? Are we going to go back to Stage Red? I said, well, that's the goal, you know? And so we use that as a way to kind of set up and showcase what all hands decks looks like. And as we get into this new school year, making sure that they're still enthused and energized about it. So, you know, I think that's definitely a great thing for education across the board. You know, I've been also getting ready to launch with Rialto, and Rialto, it was funny. So I did this kind of like a workshop preview of what's to come for 5 middle schools. Now, here's what's funny. Well, I think it's funny. I like to go into these auditoriums or these experiences, and I like to really just see where they're at, right, with their experience and what they're enjoying about. Stay with me, Phil. Stay with me.
These are the things that happen backstage. Sometimes people just walk into a room when you're recording a podcast.
Right. That's the backstage, right? That's why we call it backstage.
Note to self: add live recording on door.
Thank God it wasn't a groupie, right? So, I like to get into these experiences, right, and really see where these kids are at. So, I'm asking these kids, tell me a great experience about a day in the life of education here for you, right? You'd think they'd be like, hanging with the friends or recess, right? Man, first thing, the moment I get to go home, that's the best part of my day. The fights, love to see the fights, right? So it's all these things but they're telling you the truth.
Right.
And when I go into these schools, Phil, I make it a point to make sure that I meet them exactly where they're at, because I do want them to tell me the truth. Right. I do want them to be somewhat unfiltered, right? And you could see all like the grown-ups in the room. They're like, no, shit. I'm like, no, like, this is about them. It's not about you.
Right.
And so doing that workshop, that experience with them, allows me to see how much they need something that's going to inspire them and get them excited about being at school. Because I'm going to tell you, Phil, if me and you had to go sit at a school for 8 hours of our day, we would be asleep.
Well, you're talking to a guy that barely made it out of high school, let alone any advanced education.
So imagine that. Take you then.
Yeah.
You'd definitely be asleep, and you'd probably bring a blanket with you.
Well, with all the choices they have for entertainment and interaction and such today that we didn't have. I'm a little bit older than you, a few decades or so, but when I was little, I mean, you had the 3 channels on TV.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal to get out of school and go veg and do that stuff or go hang out outside. Today, they've got vast, unlimited abilities for entertainment. So you got to compete with that.
Competition. There's a lot of things we're competing against, and that's one of the things that I always say when I'm in these rooms with superintendents is that you got to understand they're stimulated so much via iPads and gaming, and it's like, but that's where they're at, and we got to figure out a way how to introduce something that gets them excited, that gets them to consider what it is we're teaching. And that's what I love about the DJ program, because I always say the DJ program is it's really the bait. It's music, it's DJing, which is the bait, which hooks them. But once I get them, it's all about life skills. It's all about, accountability, showing up, effort. Not so much driven by A, B, C's, D's, and F's. It's driven about your effort and finding yourself within this program.
Right.
Whether it's music, whether it's how to work the lights, whether it's audio, whether it's service and helping people. Like, I realize, more than anything, being able to actually show them in real time, right, is what fuels them, because they're a lot further along than they think. Like, when I first talked about introducing a simple invoice template in elementary, they thought I was crazy. And I said, give them a lot more credit. Do you know these kids can get on a computer and they can code, they can animate, all these things, and so they're way further along than even we were, even when I was, and I thought I was far along.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you also went right into the industry at 11 or 12 years old, so it's probably a little different life experience, but you're exposing them to that possibility. And what I like about the program is the 60 minutes of payoff when you're on stage DJing is only possible because of the 400 hours you put into that 60-minute payoff.
So true.
And I think that you give them an opportunity to see that. And then the girls that think that they want to be the DJ or the lead singer or the guitar player on stage, once they see all the part of the production, they see the other possibilities.
Yeah.
Which, as I joke, it's nice to be the front man, but you get paid a lot more steady if you're the lighting guy.
Yes.
So kids don't know about those opportunities.
Yeah.
The audience here and the audience that comes to Stage Red has no idea about the hundreds of people that are involved in that 90-minute show and all the backstage stuff that happens, which is why I love the idea of having these conversations with you.
And I think it's great, too, because what I've found is when they're in these experiences, they find the value that they have to offer, right? They're a part of the show. They're a part of the experience. They helped, whether it was helping folks to their seats, whether it was, he's on, move that light. It's like they're an intricate part. They become an intricate part to the experience, and it allows them to see the possibility. And I think that's what I love most is whatever it is, right? Whatever program it is, I'm always going to say, can they envision themselves being a part of this experience? And I think that's where the tires meet the road for all hands on decks. Is
Yeah.
that they could, in real time, they can see where their value is and how they play a part in it. And I think that's special.
I'm just excited you're growing the program. I think the kids had so much fun and are looking forward. So I'm looking forward to Rialto embracing it and doing some more stuff with the school district.
Yeah.
But I know Terry raved about the program when you did it for the Boys and Girls Club. So
Yeah.
looking forward to the next field trip when they put on a production for us.
Yeah, for sure. So. I think that's going to be great. Coming out of summer, I think what is the next big holiday for us out of summer?
It might be Halloween.
It might be Halloween, right?
It might be Halloween.
Okay.
Are you doing anything for Halloween?
I am. So I have a I'm going to say party, event, costume, the whole nine. So I have an experience called Iz's Night of Grooves and Ghouls that I've been doing. I want to say I started in 2007. Yeah. And it literally started with somewhat like same setting. Me and my best friend sitting on a couch talking about, yo, what can we do? What can we do for Halloween? How can we create this house party experience where it's a great hang. You maybe see some folks you haven't seen since high school, and you're just having a good time. You got your drink, the music's live, and it's elbow to elbow, right? It's like the party to be at. And I knew it was gonna be somewhat tough because I got neighbors.
Yeah.
Right? How can I bring this experience to my neighborhood without the cops coming over, right? And
or Karen calling every 5 minutes.
Right. So here's what I did. I made flyers. I passed them out to all my neighbors. I said, hey, bring your family, bring your kids, food, drinks on me. Come have a good time. And so, like, I was able to, like, bring my entire neighborhood in for the experience. And I always said, hey, if it's too loud, just text me. Right. We'll turn it down. And so that's how I got it going. And
meanwhile, you put your phone on ignore.
Like, don't bother me. So, I would say, like, my third year, I had 500 people at my house. And then it just continued. Then it became this expectation. Are you having your Halloween party? I gotta get my travel plans together. So I would have people that would start flying in. And so, I saw a opportunity to bring it to Stage Red and give them an experience. And I think that's going to be a great thing because that's going to be very much different from what we've been having here. I want to make it, I want it to be festive. I want to, because people show up with great costumes. Like the costumes you're going to see that night are going to be phenomenal. Like they put in work. And so, we got the $500 costume contest. We got Nick Knack from 99.1 who's DJing the event along with myself. Fun. So it's just going to be a great night. I'm looking forward to it. And especially for Fontana, right? Folks in Fontana, knowing they have a great place to come, hang, 18 and over, have a great night, have some drinks, have some great music, maybe see some folks you ain't seen in a while. Everybody's dressed up, having a good time. So I'm looking forward to Grooves and Ghouls here.
Yeah, it's a different type of event for Stage Red. Stage Red is I've tried to explain to people that haven't been here yet, because that's what you hear the most. People that come to go, oh, I didn't even know you were here. I didn't know you were open.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. This is like it's a concert venue, right? It's an entertainment venue. It's not a bar.
Yeah.
But the thing that appealed, I think, when we first started talking about you bringing the event here, is having a house party, which is not something we would normally do here, but it's so much fun, and and if I'm being honest with you, you should not be having 500 people at your house anyway. I know you moved to different properties over the time.
I have, yes.
I think that that everybody just keeps expecting Usher or Mary J or Janet to show up, and that's why, because they're not there for you. It can't be possibly for you. But it's going to be fun. We're really looking forward to hosting it here. So when is it?
It's October 25th.
October 25th. There'll probably be in a ticket link below.
Yes.
We got to pretend like podcasters.
Yeah,
hit the link below.
StageRedFontana.com.
Like and subscribe.
Grab your tickets. They're on sale, and get them before they go. They're going. And that's the thing. Being able to house an experience like that where it's a little bit, I mean, to your point, right? We're a concert venue, but to open it up to something like this, I think is going to be great. And I can already count the people that are going to be hot. I know Aquanet is going to show up. Yeah. I know Jesse's going to show up. So I know all our peers, and to see everybody in a different light. I'm hoping to see you in a different light, Phil. By the way, your Chris Stapleton costume, you nailed it. So I'm hoping I would make.
I didn't wear a Chris Stapleton costume to the Chris Stapleton show, just for clarity. But the way you said it, it made it sound like that. I did Chris Stapleton a few years ago, and it's easy when you're a big guy, you can dress like another big guy and pull it off.
So I want to make sure, I want to make sure production cuts to a picture of that image of you, because I think it's
probably not going to happen.
You nailed it. So, yeah, Grooves and Ghouls, October 25th, stagered.com. Make sure you grab your tickets. It's going to be a great hang. A night where you just come hang, hear great music, have a couple great drinks, and just party on Wayne. You know what I mean? So, on that note, we're going to wrap this up. Next week, we'll be talking about some other experiences that have happened and that are coming your way. Make sure you continue to tap in with us here, myself, Phill Burum, at Backstage. We got some great stories coming. We got some great folks coming. And we just want to peel back the onion. And so we also want to make sure that we're introducing questions that maybe some of you guys might want to know with either ourselves or guests that we have coming on. So stay tapped in. You can catch us. YouTube channel, IZ Avila. Social media, IZ_Avila on IG. We'll be launching clips from our podcast. So make sure you stay tapped in. Anything else, Phil?
I got nothing, brother.
You got nothing? Well, thank you for giving me something today. And on that note, have a great week. We'll catch you on the next one.
Go. Yeah.